Hey yo, what is up? BZ-176 has been around for a couple of weeks now, and today we are riding with Rag 3 Kid, and wanted to share with you some of the observations I've made over the last 2-3 weeks on the BZ-176. Now, obviously this is a heavy tank with the rocket boosters. In case you don't know, you start off with 4 boosters and you use up about 2 of them just to get into the early position. Now, one of the most popular equipment to use on this tank is the improved aim, vertical stabilizers and rammers, but our friend here, Rag 3 Kit, is running the turbos instead of the improved aim. So you lose a little bit of a dispersion because you're not using that improved aim, but you gain a little bit more on with the turbo, with the mobility when you're not using those rocket boosters. Now this tank, of course, comes with 2 types of ammo, which is the standard AP shells, and the premium shells is HE with 225 pen and higher damage output. Now our friend here has got the number 1 slot with the HE shells. He switched it around, so everybody fires the HE shells almost exclusively. That's because that's what this tank is about. Now, I made a first video a couple of weeks ago when it first came out, and I compared this tank to the Skoda T56, and I kind of led on to say that I think that the BZ-176 was not more overpowered than the Skoda T56. I said that it was probably equally as OP, just as powerful as the Skoda T56, and I want to correct that record today because I think, in my observation, I think the BZ-176 is even more powerful than the Skoda T56 or the Object 703 version 2. Now in this matchup, in this situation, this is like the perfect situation for a tank like the BZ-176, top tier versus tier 6 tanks. Man, nobody can come up against the BZ-176. If you're not throwing the game, you can easily dish out a lot of damage. Under 3 minutes already 4,000 damage. This is of course attack defense, and his team is melting around him while he is covering 2 flanks. This is where I suppose quite useful for using that turbo when you are not in the rocket mode. Use that turbo to flank around these 2 close by positions. I suppose that turbo does help slightly, but if it was up to me, I wouldn't run a turbo. I don't think a turbo is that helpful that it needs to be a useful equipment. But you can see how just completely overpowering the BZ-176 is in a scenario like this, in a perfect kind of matchup where you are the top dog, you're the top tier, there are tier 6s in the matchup. I mean, it is just so ridiculously mismatched. It should, if there is any kind of limitation that they should put into OP tanks like the BZ-176 or maybe the T56 or even the 703 version 2, is that it shouldn't be matched up against tier 6s. The same way they make some tanks limited in their matchmaking, I don't think a tank like this should be matched up against tier 6s, because the tier 6s just don't stand a chance. If they don't flank, there is just no chance at all. And I wanted to point out to you that this is a big damage game if you didn't already figure this out. But if you take a look at the replay files on whatreplays.com or .net or whatever, if you look at the replay files for the BZ-176, you are going to notice that there is a significant amount of submissions of the BZ-176 that has damage outputs of exceeding 9,000. Not one, not two, multiple entries of the BZ-176 doing 9,000 damage. Now obviously a T56 or a 703 also does that, and you know, the BZ-176 is a new tank, so a lot of people are playing it, so that's why you're getting a lot of these entries into the replay files. But in my opinion, it is a lot more entries than I would say is that you can accept as a normal amount of high damage games. But we're going to come across now a 10 versus 12, sorry, a 10 damage versus 12, 11, 12. This is a close game. It is a 3 versus 4, 3 versus 5 situation here, and we're going to come across a Pershing on the enemy team, and he's going to be firing standard AP shells, and out of 6 shots that he lands on this BZ-176, you're going to see him connect and penetrate 5 out of 6. That is the first one right at the lower plate. Now remember, the BZ-176 has a false lower plate. It has 2 lower plates. Do not shoot the first lower plate because you will never pen that one. You need to shoot where it is showing there, the lower plate, and that is where you can pen, and that is exactly what the Pershing did. With only 190 penetration, he manages to hit that lower plate, and this time he hits the front drive wheel on the left side and manages to track the BZ-176. I don't know if it's luck, or I don't know if it is complete skill on the Pershing side, but 2 very good shots with standard AP shells. Very impressive indeed. I don't know for sure if that is an experienced player, a skilled player, a player with knowledge. I can't make it out. I did watch the replay a couple of times to try and figure out how the Pershing managed to connect so many of his shots. Like I said, he fired 6 shots, he connected 5 of them and did damage. One shot here takes out the Hellcat, Super Hellcat, the Tier 7 Super Hellcat. But you can see how completely overpowering the BZ-176 is with a 800 roll on the HE shell that has 225 penetration. Absolutely ridiculous. And you will see him completely dominate. The Pershing there bounced just one of his shots there, and now he shoots the lower plate again. Very well done there from that Pershing, but he's gonna take one right on the upper plate. Huge damage roll there, 777. Now the Pershing manages to shoot the top of the turret right on the spot. It looks like right on the spotlight, but I'm gonna assume that it actually went through and hit the top of the turret for that 236 roll, and then the final roll on top of the hull, which is another 226 damage. But still, an amazing 9,000 game for Rad 3 Kid on his BZ-176 with turbos. Congratulations. I hope you can see for yourself just how powerful and completely completely steamrolling the entire enemy, especially on this kind of matchup that is super advantageous to the BZ-176. Top tier matchmaking with tier 6s, make over 500,000 credits and 300,000 plus credits clean after profits. What an amazing game. Hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.